Hey everyone, and welcome. We're going to talk about something that's just as important as brushing your teeth or taking a shower, but it's all about your mind. Let's dive right into our practical guide on mental hygiene.
You know, we all get taught about physical hygiene from the time we're kids, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about hygiene for your mind? That's the big question we're tackling. Are you actually giving your brain the same kind of daily care you give your body? It's a fascinating thought.
And that's really what mental hygiene is all about. It's not some huge, one-time fix. Nope, it's the little things you do every single day. The small, consistent practices that add up to keep your mind healthy, balanced, and strong.
Okay, so before we go any further, let's make sure we're all on the same page. To really get a grip on this, we need to define a few key terms. Let's build our foundation, starting with the basics.
First, let's talk about mental health. Now, this is super important. It's not just about what's going on between your ears. It's this whole state of well-being. We're talking physical, mental, social, even spiritual. It's a huge piece of your overall health puzzle, not some separate thing off to the side.
Okay, and that naturally leads us to mental hygiene. So if mental health is the destination, that state of well-being, then mental hygiene is the journey. It's the stuff you actually do. It's the how-to guide, the daily practices and skills you use to build and keep that healthy state of mind.
All right, now this next part is a really useful distinction to make. We often mix these terms up. On one hand, you have mental ill health. Think of that as just the absence of those positive mental qualities. Maybe you're in a funk or have a negative outlook. But then on the other hand, you have mental illness, which refers to an actual diagnosable disorder. Seeing that difference is key because it shows us that mental well-being is a spectrum, and it's something we can all actively work on every single day.
Okay, enough with the definitions. We've covered the what, so now let's make this all about you. It's time for a quick mental health check-in. No pressure here, this is just for you. A little moment to pause and see where you're at right now.
So have a look at some of these common signs. Things like your daily routine feels all over the place. You're a bit short-tempered or irritable. You feel restless. Your sleep is irregular. Maybe there's a lot of anxiety and worry, or just a negative attitude towards yourself and others. Do any of those ring a bell? Hey, these aren't judgments at all. They're just little signals, flags that maybe our mental hygiene could use a little tune-up.
Okay, let's do a super quick self-assessment. Just be honest with yourself. First question is, I am satisfied and happy with my life. What's your gut reaction to that? Just a simple agree or disagree. All right, next one. I am confident about my abilities. How does that one feel? Agree or disagree?
And for the last one in this little check-in, I am generally able to solve my problems when I encounter them. This really gets to the heart of our sense of resilience. Now look, the point here isn't to get a perfect score. Not at all. The whole idea is just to build a little self-awareness. And honestly, that's always the most important first step.
Awesome. Now that we're a little more aware of where we stand, let's get to the fun part, the stuff we can actually do. It's time to open up our mental hygiene toolkit.
It helps to think of good mental health not as some finish line you cross, but more like a house you're building. You have to work on it and maintain it every day. And right now, we're going to hand you the keys, some of the best tools you can start using, literally today.
Okay, let's kick things off with 4 daily mental exercises. Think of these as your core workout. First is reality contact. That just means seeing yourself clearly and realistically, without being too harsh. Second, impulse control. This one's huge. It's about creating that tiny gap between a feeling and your reaction. That little pause before you snap or send that angry text. Third is self-esteem. And this isn't about being arrogant. It's about deliberately building a kind, supportive voice inside your own head. And finally, number 4, positive thoughts. This is the active practice of choosing to create good emotions, instead of just letting the negative ones take over. They sound simple, right? But they are so powerful when you actually do them.
All right, now let's zoom out a bit and look at a bigger picture. We're going to bring in a really holistic framework from Ayurveda. That's an ancient system of medicine from India. It's all about creating balance in your entire lifestyle, not just one part of it. So this table breaks down these 4 pillars perfectly. First up is ahara, the right food. And this isn't just ancient wisdom. Modern science is all over the gut-brain connection now. What you eat literally affects your mood. Then there's vihara, the right recreation. This isn't about punishing yourself at the gym. It's about finding movement that brings you joy and relieves stress. Next, ashara, the right routine.
Having a schedule helps regulate your body's internal clock, which affects everything from your sleep to your ability to focus. And last, vichara, right thinking. This is just such a powerful reminder that our mental health isn't separate from our physical life. How we eat, move, and structure our day, it's all deeply connected. Okay, I want to zoom in on one specific strategy now. This is a real game changer for reducing a ton of daily stress and anxiety, and that's simply managing our time well.
Now, this isn't about having a crazy, rigid schedule that stresses you out more. It's just about being intentional. So, simple things. Make your to-do list the night before. Prioritize it. Maybe you tackle the hardest thing first when you have the most energy. Find those chunks of time where you won't be interrupted. But, just as important, you have to be flexible because life happens. And please, I cannot stress this enough. Schedule your rest. Downtime is not a luxury you earn. It's a non-negotiable part of the process.
And that's the real payoff, you see. When you manage your time well, you're not just getting more stuff done. You're actually creating a sense of control and peace for yourself in a world that often feels totally chaotic. That's how you hit the bullseye of both productivity and peace of mind.
You know, this quote here really just wraps up the whole goal perfectly. A mentally healthy person has self-satisfaction, they can handle criticism, and they're not run by things like fear, anger, or worry. It's really about achieving a kind of inner freedom, a sense of mastery over your own mind.
So as we wrap this up, let's bring it back to right now. You do not need to change your entire life overnight. That's not the goal. Just pick one thing, one small practice. Maybe it's deciding you're going to make that to-do list tonight. Or maybe it's just scheduling a 5-minute walk for yourself tomorrow. The question is, what is the one small hygiene practice you're going to start for your mind today?